because as a creative, it's like, oh man, like we want to play with all the different sounds and stuff like that. We want to we just downloaded some new drums, like we want to use those drums. But the disciplined producer is like, yo, okay, I went through this track. This is my thought process behind it. I went through 808s on it. Just disrespect the whole genre, right? But so I make a track, right? This is my thought process behind what I said. If I make a track, I take the time to mix this track, you know, to get the EQ right. I get the kick and the bass married just right so that they're working together nicely. They're not competing for the same space sonically. You know, the brass is perfect for this type of track. Let's say we're working on a sports track or whatever. I dial in that sound and that track works. It's successful. The client likes it. They like the changes, the transitions. For me, as a professional serving a client who needs a lot of music, instead of starting this whole process from scratch and using a new snare, a new 808, a new brass, a new blah, 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 why not take this session, make it a template, save the drum kit, save the strips, the bass strips, how I have everything EQ'd. Why not take that, save it, and reuse it to create multiple tracks just like the one that is winning? To me, it makes sense because it's efficient. It's how you get more done in less time versus trying to reinvent the wheel every single time. Like, that sounds very inefficient to me. Like, okay, let's just undo everything we did and let's spend another 5, 6, 7 days trying to dial in a sound and sift through 2,000 snares and kicks. It doesn't make sense to me. And you are going to, did I just lock my computer? I hope my stream didn't stop. You're going to waste a ton of time and people are just going to pass you by in terms of output if you don't have enough discipline to like stick with a template for at least half an album. I didn't say you had to do everything with the one kick and snare, but at least a few tracks to get your output up. But I thought that was interesting, man, because it's just really telling that, you know, people, I don't know, like in the name of it, I feel like it's lack of disciplined, masked in creativity. Like everybody wants to say, that's not, you know, it's not creative. But it is. Like, I feel like the true essence of your creativity is having parameters that you have to work within and being able to get the best possible product within these parameters. That is a true test of creativity, in my opinion. So if you cannot create something unique using the same set of sounds, then I feel like maybe you haven't actually mastered your craft of creativity. Because man, I'm telling you, dude, you can do a lot with not a lot. Like, and it forces you to get creative. If you don't have a lot, like I know a lot of us starting off, like we couldn't afford Omnisphere. We can't afford Complete Ultimate. I couldn't afford that starting out when I got my first sync placement. I couldn't afford that stuff. So I had to get real creative in the box, the Logic stock box. So yeah, stand focused, definitely key. No grind, no grit, no greatness. Dial in 100%. Michael says it makes perfect sense to me. Go see Rick Astley's follow-up track to Never Gonna Give You Up. If there was ever a musical twin, then Together Forever is that track. 100%, bro. I have heard several several songs using this Brian Michael Cox progression. If you know, you know. Like, I've heard this progression on Danity Kane. I've heard this progression, I think, on Day 26. Like, but like it's like, yo, it worked. Just swap some drums out, swap the tempo, maybe swap the key, whatever. So basically keep it simple for a reason. Yeah, keep it simple for a reason. Now, as a creative, I do believe, like, yeah, it's time. There's times to like play around and like, you know, like let's discover some new sounds, some new textures, you know, play around with some different kits and drums. Like, I get that. I understand that. But I'm telling you, man, when you get hit with a deadline, like a, 12-hour turnaround, bro, you don't have time to like be starting from scratch every time. You just don't. In sync, like, things move fast. Who's the most efficient? The most efficient producer is going to win. He's going to win. Like, while you're like going snare by snare, trying to be ultra creative over there, there's another producer like, oh, you want 90s pop? I already got a whole template for that already. These are the drums I use for it. I got the synth bass. I got the synth sounds. That's it. Boom. Knock it out. Done. They win. It's that simple. Clarence says, makes sense to me. Cleo says, isn't that what they do with remaking movies? 100%. Like, movies have a formula. Movies have a formula. Just like the structure I teach you guys in sync, like, that's a formula, right? That I show you all. Movies the same way, man. If you watch the movie, you have the introduction of, like, the characters, and then before like the 15-minute mark, the problem is introduced. And now, like, there's some type of problem that has to be solved, and then the movie goes through its structure until it resolves, and then you're probably going to have some sort of plot twist in there somewhere. So for us, that maybe that's the bridge, maybe that's I don't know, like, whatever. Maybe that's the second verse breaking down or whatever, you know what I mean? So it's like, it's a whole formula. So versus someone trying to, like, oh, let's reinvent the structure of a good movie. Why would you do that when it already works? It's a waste of time. I saw that post and I agree with you. Most big time producers have a signature sound because they use some of the same sounds, just in a different way. Yes, 100%. 100%. Yep. Like, especially during, man, like all the producers that we, like, kind of looked up to. It's like, those sounds, whether it's an 808, whether it's how their drums sound. If you think of, like, some of the early Neo stuff, it was like a lot of, like, that guitar and claps and all of that stuff. It was a sound. And they just use them differently. No doubt, man. It's a great foundation for templates, which speeds up production. 100%. Momentum for sure, because first set on tracks are due first week of January. I know. It's crazy. Like, yeah, there's literally deadlines going up from like now. I think I low-key missed a deadline last night. I submitted it anyway, but because I noticed the time was, like, weird. So I might have, I don't know. I might have slipped it in just in time. I'm hoping. So we'll see what happens. I'm not too worried about it though, because it's like, I think it's a non-exclusive joint, so I'm gonna send it to other places. But if we get in there, we get in there.